Hi folks, and today I want to talk about how you can add a timestamp to one of your cells in Google Sheets without having to do it manually like this, something like that, which can get really annoying at times, especially if you want to update your notes all the time or something. So let's take a look at the data that I've got here in this spreadsheet. We've got like a column here with clients. The second one is people who have purchased. The third, last contact, and then the fourth one is the notes. So yeah, sometimes you want to like add notes and add things just to give yourself a reminder in that. And you might want to know when you updated that. So this is why a timestamp comes in really handy. I mean, you can even use it for like the last contact as well, so you don't have to update this manually. But today we're going to focus about adding a timestamp at the end. So if you fill in something like notes updated, and then it'd be something like that. So yeah, that's what we're trying to achieve here, but without having to do that manually. So let's have a look at how we can do this then in the app script. So the task is, the first one is create a function called add timestamp to get the existing note, and then we're going to add a timestamp to that note and then paste it back in. So that's the first function we need to write. The second one is going to be the built-in onEdit function, and we're going to tell that to fire once this notes column is updated. Alright, so let's get into it then. So let's start with a function. It's called add timestamp. Okay, so that's what we're going to begin with, and we're going to need two parameters for this. We're going to need what the row is, because we want to know which row we're going to edit. Yeah, we already know it's column 4, so we're going to find the row, and then we need to get the existing notes. So we'll just call that val. You can call it note, whatever you want, but I'm going to stick with val for now. First things first, let's get the our actual sheet. Let's pull that in. Get that to spreadsheet. GetActiveSheet. Okay, so that pulls in our sheet for us to work with. And during the testing phase, we're just going to do this manually. So we'll say row 2, and the val is just going to be, whatever that is. So getRange, row, column 4 is the notes, and then just get the value for that. Okay, so that's our setup basically done. The next phase we want to do is work out how to get this date. Yeah, so we want to create a timestamp, or basically get a date. Now the way we're going to do this is with a built-in function. I'll just find that for you. It's in the Utilities section. So these nodes are really useful, by the way, so you should be looking at these all the time. The one we're going to use today is formatDate, which comes off this utilities object. And then we're going to put in the date. Obviously that's not formatted. The time zone, we're going to run this from GMT, just the same as these, and then the format, which is something like this. You can get more. I'll just go over that in a moment, but let's just start then. So let's call it today, and we're gonna. This is the utilities object, so we're gonna use format date. The date is going to be just today, so just get a date there. We're going to use GMT for this. If you want, you can you can use other. There are other options there, like CST for North America. You've got a bunch of options, but PK KT for Karachi, yeah. But we're going to use GMT because that's like the kind of like global standard. And then the last phase is the format string. So let's get rid of that. Let's have a look here how this works. So here you've got a link that was coming from this utilities, yeah. They're linking to this. And what we want to do is figure out how we can build a date string. So if you read through this documentation, I'm not going to go over this in detail today because this is kind of like a subject in itself. If you want to know more how you can build different dates, yeah, check this out, and you can figure out what sort of format you want to use, and you know how you can build different kind of dates. I've got some examples here of how you can set this up. I already know which one I'm going to use anyway, because we're going to go with this format, right? This the same as this one for today's example. So let me just put that in. So for this, I just need the day, the month, and a year, and then that should give me what I'm looking for. I just had a breakpoint here. I'm going to save that and just debug. I just want to just check that we're on target. So yeah, we are. We've got 29th of November 2022. We've got the date. So the next part is we want to combine these two now. I want to take the val and bang this date on. So let's do that. So we're going to call this newNote. And I'm going to interpolate this. A nice modern JavaScript way of doing it. So we're going to take the old data, which is the val for this example, give it a space. I'm going to take a second variable, today, with a dot. Okay, let's have another look, make sure everything's working fine. Let's take a little longer, but okay. Yep, so the newNote, it looks good. Right, last but not least, not doing any more breakpoints. Get rid of that sheet.getRange. Going to be the row column 4 because we're going to overwrite it, setValue. And then the new value is going to be the newNote. Right, let's run this. So add timestamp. Boop, and bingo, done. So we can do the same thing here again if we just change the row out to say 3. Just run that again, and then yeah, it's done it again. So right, we're away. I just want to remove these now for the next phase. So the next phase is going to be doing this automatically, right? Because obviously running a function is not going to be any more convenient, right? So we don't want to do it that way. What we want to do is the second phase, which is the built-in onEdit function, which is a simple trigger. You can find it here. We've got a few of them actually. We've got onOpen, onInstall, onEdit, selection change, do, get, post. The most common one you'll use though is definitely going to be onEdit. It's a really common and useful function. So yeah, so how does it work? So basically when someone taps something, changes a cell, something like this, that then triggers the onEdit function, and anything connected with that will run, which is what we're aiming for here. When one of these cells in the notes changes, we want to then update that cell, right? So that's what the plan is. So what we get back is an event object. Now what's an event object? So this is basically what it is. It comes back with these different groupings. So we've got auth mode, old value, range, source, trigger UID, user, and value. The one we're really interested in is this, and we're going to use this as well. A bit more simple than this. The range is kind of complicated. So let's take a look at this then. What is this? So let's first write our function out. So onEdit. So we don't need to set up a trigger for this, because this is a built-in function. We don't need to go here and mess around adding a trigger. It's completely redundant. AppScripts knows that this is a built-in function, so we don't need to do that. So yeah, let's have a look and see what it does then. So console.log, playing around it. So console.log e.range. That's the one we're interested in, right? Let's do something here. Where I've done an onEdit. Let's go and have a look at the execution log. Let's come up here. I've got no logs that are available for this execution, so this isn't instantaneous. We're going to have to wait a few more seconds for it to update. So while that's updating, let's just move on and let us write out what we actually want here. So we're going to need the column, right? Which is e.range. I already know this, so I'm going to just put this in. Got column, and then we're going to need the row. We want to figure out which row we're going to edit. e.range.getRow, kind of similar to the way all the rest of this stuff works. And then the value, so that was const val equals e.value. Remember, we can get the value just from this. We don't need to mess around going into this, even though you can if you want, but this is just the easiest way of doing it. Let's see whether that's logs updated now, so we can take a look. Alright, so here it is. This is the e.range. So as you can see, there's like loads of stuff we can use there. We can get like font size, get values, remove duplicates, loads of stuff. But yeah, we just went past it, the one we were looking for, which is getColumn, this function, and getRow, which sometimes around here. No, it's gone, but we're looking for getRow as well. So yeah, if you can just have a play around with this yourself, and yeah, row and row starts gives you like loads of info. You can just tap into this and use it for any of your projects. So right, let's get rid of this log. We don't need that. So what do we need to do next then? We need to make sure it fires on column 4 only. We don't want this firing like when everything's edited. We're just doing it for the note. So if the col is equal to 4, let's just run this, yeah? That's what we want. So just copy this over. We've used these same variable names. So row is still row, val is still val, so we don't need to change that. And then let's just have a go. Try an empty one for now. Okay, that's not worked. So the y. So if the col is 4, get row. Get column, get row, value, col equals 4, add timestamp. Alright, so we're not getting what we want. Forgot to delete this. Alright, never mind. Yeah, so don't make that mistake, folks. If you want to pass these new values in, we don't want to use a fixed value there. So this is what we got instead. So yeah, we just get rid of that. This will trigger it as well now. We just edit that. So yeah, we can see there it's working now. So now we've got a timestamp. There's just one issue with this. So what if we say just delete all of it? So now we're getting undefined, and we're getting a date, which is basically not what we want, right? So what we want to do is basically say that if this value is not equal doesn't exist, right? We don't want it to equal undefined, right? Which is the value we're getting out here, yeah? Undefined, which is no good. So if it's not undefined, we can do that. So let me just get rid of that again. Okay, so it looks like it's gone. Does it still work when we add it back in? Yeah, it does. Okay, and then just one last thing then, just to tidy this up a bit, rather than having this like long-winded is val equal to undefined, I wanted to just have a look, a recap of what a truthy and falsy value is in JavaScript. And we can take a look here. So a truthy value is a value that is considered true when encountered in a Boolean context. All values are truthy unless they are defined as falsy. So basically, it's truthy so long as it's not one of these. And ours is undefined, yeah, which is a falsy value. So basically, what we can do is, instead of this long-winded approach, we can just go, if there's a val, if there's actually something there, then that's true. And then if it's column 4, run it. So let's just save this again. Just get rid of that. Let's put it back in. And there we go. So that's basically it. So yeah, that's how you add a timestamp automatically. Now, if you wanted to continue playing around with this, say you wanted to, I don't know, make it more complicated. Say, we could start adding like columns in here, and then, work our way through it like that as well. If you wanted to like use this timestamp all over the place, as it happens, we're just going to use it for column 4 for now, so we can keep this fixed. But yeah, I mean, you could start doing that, stuff like this, adding the color, and then doing that, placing that in, and then that would give you that flexibility as well. But yeah, as is the case, we're not going to be doing that, so we're just trying to keep it a bit simpler. But yeah, if you want to keep experimenting with this, you can do. But yeah, that's basically the end of it. So if you've got any questions, just hit me up and let me know, and I can get back to you. So take it easy then. Wait for the next one. Bye bye.